Hi everyone, today I'm going to show you how to change an electric element in an electric oven. Ours has just gone and it's an AEG model. Going to show you the whole thing start to finish. If you've got a freestanding oven or any other model type of oven, it's the same type of job, so this kind of goes for most ovens. If your oven's clicked out, it's tripped out, or it's not working, generally it is the element, and this is the element. They're not too expensive, so and not too bad a job. So I'm going to take you through it now. Right, so very first thing we do, and this is very important guys, before we do anything whatsoever, we turn the power off. If it's plugged in, pull it out, make sure the plug's right out of socket. If it's on a ring main, even turn the ring main off. But make sure that oven is isolated before you do anything. Alright. Once you've done that part, we'll continue. Okay, so this particular oven, this is a Competence AEG. Take all your racks out first, get everything clear because the whole oven's got to come out. Alright, so if you have got an in-housing type oven like this, you've got to find the screws that hold it in. In this particular model, they're up here, there's one here, and there's one over the other side that are holding it in. You can always tell because they're normal screws that sort of screw into the wooden surround. Your fillets start to come loose as you undo it anyway. So without further ado, we'll undo these. There's one that side as well. Right, well, we've pulled ours out, and what I normally do is, if it's like this, I'll get a couple of chairs and I've stood it on and turned it round. The element will be at the back of the oven, so 4 screws in it usually. There's 2 that I've started undoing these just to show you where they are, and there's another 2 this side. We're going to undo those now and remove the back. Okay, we're nearly there without the back. On this particular model we had another 3 screws down here that was in there, there and there. I've undone those as well. Once they're undone now you can see the back just falls away. Alright, so just let it clear the cable and put it away, and we're ready for the bits. Okay, so if you take a look at the back of this now, I know it looks a little bit daunting when you take the back off, but the element usually always sits around the fan, and this is the fan here, so you know it's got to fit somewhere like that. So if you do that, and it may be around that way, but look for the element connections, and there they are there. You know that this is the element, this here, because it's got to sit in through there like that and go around the fan. So look for that, and then loosen these nuts off. Because once these 2 nuts come off, the element will come out. But you've got to do one thing first before you can do that, and I'll show you what to do next before you go undoing it completely. So here we have the oven from the inside. Now before you can do that element, as I say, you should look for a couple of screws. There's one there and the other one's there. They undo and then this front will pull forward. There was another one there up in there, but I've taken it out already, and there's one in that corner. So generally you'll find 4. Okay, take those out and I'll show you the front easing off. So there we have our screws undone, and the back plate now is ready to come off. This is so we can gain access to the element. Now there's not much to grab hold of, so I generally stick a screwdriver up in a hole there like so, until we got him out. And that exposes the element. And there it is there. So now we just got to unclip him, undo the bolts completely the other side, and we'll pull him through. Got the element side now, and as I said before, whatever happens, make sure the power is off, please. Don't want any problems. You pull these connections off the back. Okay, there's one off. Make a note of the colour. Purple at the top on this one, blue at the bottom on the other one, and pull them away. They're a little bit, they can be a little bit tricky, but once they're off, they're off. And that leaves us with the nuts. There's like a little earthing connector going on the back of this one. That will also go back on after we've pushed the element through from the other side. Undo the nuts now completely so that the whole thing's loose, because then once it's all off here with the nuts undone, we're going to pull it through from the inside. Well, we're back inside the oven again, and the element is now pretty loose. It's ready to come through, but you'll see there's just one more thing holding it, and it's this screw over here. There, that's just one more to come out, and then the element's ready to pull through. There we are, I've done the last screw there now, and our element's ready to pull through. So pull them out now, and there we have our old elements. Well, we're ready now with our new element. We're all okay to go in there, and as you can tell and see, looking at it, it pops fits in through there like so, and then we'll screw it and put a screw through there with that back there like that, and then we'll bolt on the other side. So we'll get on with that now. There we are, our element's in. I've screwed the screw back in, ready to bolt it on the other side. We could probably put our cover on now, the back plate back on, which as you know is just a reversal of when we took it off. Well, here we are. I've bolted it in. Make sure your bolts are nice and tight. There's a couple of little circlip type washers that lock it in as well. Make sure they're on. I've put my earthing strap back on there and pushed my connections back on. Make sure they're on nice and tight, good and firm, and then all we've got to do is kind of move this insulation back over and seal this back in, and we're ready to put the back on then and try her out, get her back in place. Well, there we are then. Back's on. It's ready to go back. We're all ready for our slot. Give it a good clean out. Make sure it's all tidy when it goes back. We've got a lot of wire here. It's probably been put on deliberately so you can pull it out and do the element. So when you get it back, make sure this wire is safely out of the way at the back of the oven, tucked away. We're probably going to pull ours right up and out so that it's not getting stuck underneath the oven. And that's it really, so we're going to do that now. Well, there we are then. Everything is back. Our two holding screws are back. Power's back on, as you can see. We're flashing up there now, and we're all ready to go. So that's a nice easy job you can do yourself. If your oven's tripped out and it's taking the fuse, or it keeps going every time you try and use it, you know 9 times out of 10 it's the element. Not all the time, but most times. First thing I would head for is change the oven element. That's it really. Thanks very much for watching. You know where to go for all our videos, don't you? I didn't even need to tell you, do you? Derek and 33. Thanks for watching. Bye bye.